Hi, everybody. This is the poker coaching study session. We are going to do some cash hands face up because we can't figure out how to make DTO trainer work. And by we, I mean me. All right. Taking a look here. We have broken stacks. Before we do anything else on the table, this is going to change things. Look at all the broken stacks here. This is really something. Uh,
Yeah,
so
so
we may have to do some adjustments. Let's see what happens. Uh, this should go fold, fold, raise, fold, fold, three bet, fold, 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 but I bet it won't. Fold, fold. Oh, okay, so he starts by folding the ace nine, the king nine suited here. One, two, three, four. In low jack -1.
can we
Uh,
agree that's excessively tight?
yeah. This is
King nine,
in,
yeah,
in low
I
jack
mean, this is
-1.
like
This is 100% open in GTO Wizard.
this is like 2 pips too tight.
Yeah, you can the 5, 6, 7, 8 mix, but the nine is pure in this position. One
Yeah.
position back, the nine is like 75%, and back here the nine is 50% ish. But here it's mandatory, and he folds great. With him folding, I should open, and I should get three bet by the ace queen. So there's my
and
open.
we shouldn't forget the ace three is a frequency of some three betting there.
Yeah.
Does it? Good to know. I didn't know that,
Pretty sure.
but we don't have to three bet it because we're opening it.
Yep.
The ace queen should now three bet this 100%, but he calls.
Broken stack shenanigans.
Right. Now, with him calling, these fives should absolutely play. And I think even three-way. Oh, we'll check this out with DTO Wizard. We'll do this. Oh, no, we've got this in poker. We've got this in GTO. No, because the call, we'll see if there are any calls if DTO allows it. Poker coaching has calls there with some changes. But anyway, I just believe that the queen jack should fold and the five should absolutely call.
Agreed.
Okay, now isn't there a GTO thing that says there is no fifth call and very few fourth calls?
Yeah, but I think big blind is different because they're closing the action. No
Yeah,
one can squeeze you out of your equity.
right. Yeah. Oh, right. The more you call, the more you incentivize someone to squeeze.
Yeah. So here, I mean, you guys have a different opinion, but just looking at calling range, I think that I'm gonna ignore his broken stack right now, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna say his calling range should be pairs below nine and all the suited connectors and then other stuff. But that's probably, you're going to call your suited connectors and pairs there.
Yeah. I agree. He should call this. But when we're done with this, we'll do a quick look. We'll stick the ace queen on the button where he has some calls, and we'll just see what the big blind looks like after three calls. But that's an easy call for him. This hand just got easy for everyone but me. Hopefully, it'll be nothing. Jack Queen should check. Fives, I believe we're going to learn this, should check this. That he should be checking range on this flop. Check.
What's the thinking behind that?
Then in a multi-way pot, when you've got a hand you want to bet that's out of position, make it a check raise,
Okay.
especially with a hand this good. It unblocks top pair, so that's good. But rather than be the better, be the check raiser.
Okay.
And
And
what is our source on this
this
thought?
is
Is
what we
this
were
something
intending
that's
to
like a
lose. This is
common?
what we were intending to learn, and we're gonna try to run this guy in the new DTO tool. We're gonna
Oh,
run this exact hand and see what we can do.
there's a new GTO tool?
We have DTO. We have hello, Joey might know
Oh,
how to use it. We have DTO.
oh,
For
DTO.
yeah, I
Okay.
bought it. So
That's
we'll examine this hand in it and see if that'll give us any answers. Um,
um my microphone was out for a few minutes. I
okay.
had trouble connecting it. But
Yeah,
I was gonna say I think the small blind shouldn't have any calls there in theory anyhow, so you won't be able to check the big blind.
right. Well, we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him as a three. It also, this is a four-way spot, and DTO Wizard doesn't, the DTO tool only does up to three-way,
Yeah.
but it'll give us some insight. With this though, this gets checked around. And now with it checked around, now the fives should definitely bet. That's nice.
Hmm.
It's probably too small for the fives to just try to call and get people there. I think he has to just hope the guy has a hand and raise him now. Because it's just not enough. If you call, it's just not enough money in on the turn, and every draw is being priced incorrectly, is being priced in correctly, not priced incorrectly. Good. That seems hope. That seems a lot of hope in how big it is. But I think the raise is right, and he gets a fold.
He doesn't. Can you go back to turn? Does he actually have? He has his hand locked on turn.
Yeah, I think the reason I think he should raise here is that two big blinds is too little money to get put in. But I
Yeah,
don't think he
agreed.
needs to blow anybody off. He's not trying to get people to fold their draws. He's just trying to make them pay, pay some money for them. Because the
Yeah, I don't
four
think
is a
there's any
draw
smoke
and the
playing
seven is a draw.
fairways.
I still think in a three-way scenario, he might still be calling now.
And and only let two big blinds get in there.
Well, if everybody else calls, then there's 8 big blinds in there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's see if
And
DTO Wizard.
so that thought of it's better to, if you have a hand out of position, it's better to check raise as opposed to lead. I'm just curious, where have we, I mean, I've heard this said, I'm just wondering, like, is that a common coaching heuristic type of thing? Or like, we're in the big blind and this is a flop that, is pretty decent for, if of all the other 3 players, this is the flop that's going to be best for us.
Yeah, that's
But
me.
I'm just curious, that whole, that thought of it's better to check raise as opposed to lead, is that,
That is
like, where
pure
do
me
we
saying
know
it with
that from?
confidence. And where it came from was a little bit of three-way study with Louis in tournament play, where we found that you did a lot of checking in the early positions.
I agree. I think
But
you
I don't
do
know
a
if
lot
it's
of checking.
true
Yeah. Okay.
in this, in this particular case.
Yeah, I'll be honest, all the three-way stuff I have looked at on a solver was in MTT.
Right. Right. So that's why we want to find this out.
Yeah, I don't think you. I don't know if there are any dunks multi-way.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
We're
mean,
gonna take a look. All right, here we go.
Well, no, the small blind does have some in the MTT variations. The small blind does have some donks on certain boards.
Right. So this was the low jack raising, right? This is what we have here. Low jack raises. The cutoff is who did call, but let's see if he has any calls in
I
this.
thought you were in the hijack.
You're right. Thank you. Let's go back. Let's see if we can fold this guy here. Okay. Fold. Okay, we got to reset. Only way now you know
yeah,
how
it's
to
not very obvious how to reset. It's kind of.
Yeah, but this will do it.
That'll do it.
There. 3 players. Select scenario. Let's try that. Done that. Now we close this. We got it. Hijack raises. So we start with a fold from the low jack. Fold. Hijack raises. Now we look at the cutoff range. The cutoff has some calls in this mode, which is what he did. So whether or not the cutoff is actually calling like this, which, by the way, he did with his ace queen. So I was wrong that his ace queen was a pure raise. It's a mostly raise. So he calls. Good. Now we close. And we tell him he calls. That's you. You just called, right? I think we put in the call.
Yes.
There's his call. Good. Now the button.
Fold.
Folded. Small blind. Okay, in
Called.
this scenario, the small blind has calls.
But it won't run 4 hands.
Yeah, you're probably right. So we're gonna fold them in a second, but let's see what the thing does.
It'd be interesting to look at the rake they're using for this. That's one question because
Yeah,
Right.
I was just
Um,
thinking the same thing.
yeah,
Right. Let's see if it tells us.
It
There's call, and now the
doesn't
forehand.
matter much because this is only going to teach us heuristics.
Yeah.
Um,
So nice job with that, guys. The deuces through eights calling, nines mixing, and there's the raises from the tens. In Broadway, we're offsuit, basically nothing except for ace queen.
does it tell us how big the raise size it wants to use?
Yeah, it does. When we hit it, it's going to say, oh, here it is. Oh, no, this is the report. When we
This
do
is
it,
the
Over on the
history.
right, see how it says raise to 10 or all in.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Raise to $10. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So raise to 10
Oh,
big
there it is.
blinds.
Yeah. And then you're suited, you're playing your suited aces here. You're folding your
Wheel
middle suited
aces.
aces. Anybody folding a middle suited ace here?
no, I think I'd
I-
play that.
I'm calling all of them.
I would be
Off the
calling
top of
them.
my head, I would have played all the suited aces, all the suited broadways, all the pairs and suited connectors.
Yep. It's
Yeah, I
folding
wonder.
out, it's folding out
sorry, go
these
ahead.
suited connectors here. The 10-9 and 9-8.
I
10-9
don't understand.
because one of its straights, because these have depth straights. The 10 Jack Queen, 8-9 loses to the ace king.
I don't understand why you're folding the ace nine, ace eight here. Like why it suggests that. Like how it
Well,
arrived at that.
Well, because you're also folding a little bit of ace deuce because ace deuce is the worst of the wheel. By wheel I mean ace deuce through ace five that can make the bottom wheel straights, and also ace six, ace seven, ace nine have some of reverse implied odds, especially out of position. When you do hit top pair, you're gonna be against a better kicker, right? So that's why you want more of the straight kind of cards. You know, the ace three, ace four, ace five that can make straights and flushes.
No, also, this is different from
Okay.
GTO wizard ranges and poker coaching ranges.
Yes.
Every solver has its own little thing of ranges depending on how they solved for those ranges.
Yeah. And so I'll just open up the chat here. Make sure I pay some attention. And Skate said, by the way, that he doesn't think four-way scenarios are common. You don't play live much, do you? All right. So yeah, but
been a while.
I've been in a lot of 7-way pots too.
Yeah. So to answer the one question about why you're folding some of those middle aces, here's what I think it is. You can't profitably play your hand just for its flush draw value. When you hit an ace, you don't get to just fold. If you do, the hand doesn't have enough value. So how often you want to be in with a dominated ace is, in this way, is the likelihood of your ace being dominated is too high. Your ace deuce 3 4 5 have the advantage that when dominated also can make the wheel, so they jump in there. Your ace 10 Jack Queen King ace, are the ones that get to dominate other people's 9-8, lower aces. So unless you're in a situation where you should be calling any ace, those are the ones you fold first. Is that a good enough answer? Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah, that is
So
unintuitive, but it makes sense when you explain it.
Yeah.
In a shorter way to say it, the wheel aces just have just enough little extra equity to play versus the ace six through ace nine.
In GTO wizard, obviously you can't have the cutoff call, but I called the button.
Yep.
And all those suited aces hands are in GTO wizard's range.
Gotcha. And that's with a small blind call coming in fourth?
Oh. No, not with the small blind call.
Right. Calls. So we get to here and it just says restart. Okay, now let's see if we can get post flop. with this.
Yeah, you have to take small blind out to,
Get post flop. So let's try that. Fold,
and
raise.
then I recommend, I was going to recommend running it with hijack versus small blind versus button to check out to see on the turn
Mhm.
if the big blind has raises.
Right. We'll do both of them. So here we go. We're doing this for get post flop. Here we go. Small blind is going to fold. And now the big blind's range against just the two of them. With just two players, they're all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of them have gone away. That extra person did it. There we go. Now we just call. And it's not letting us go post flop. So we do not love this tool until we figure out how to use it.
Go back to the menu. Oh wait, go to hit explore drill.
Not this Explorer, this Explorer.
No, try the
No,
other
no,
side.
turn it on to drill.
Drill.
No, all right, turn it off.
Right. Louis played
All
with
right,
this.
go back to the main menu.
Okay.
I got something working in DTO. If
Good.
you want to see it.
Yes, I do. Here's the main menu. We'll do that in just a second.
Oh, post flop.
Post flop.
Yep.
Post flop. Yeah.
Oh,
Post
click
flop.
that. No, you have to click that button there.
I'm doing it.
The only post flop you have is low jack versus button.
Right. And then and there you can't click it, but you can click the go. That's
Yeah.
right. Let's try it
That's
again.
going to show you all the different flop textures.
Right. Oh, right. We don't even have the hijack. So we're going to get this guy, we're going to really make this weird. We are going to go cut off button big blind because it's the only one we have. And now it lets us select.
Yeah, you can select whatever
Right. So this is
flop texture
very
you want to
different.
look at.
But let's get it. 853, right?
So then, yeah, we look for one that's similar.
853 two-tone. And what we have is 864 two-tone. Not exactly the same. So let's do,
It's close enough.
yeah, 864 has a straight available, but still,
Oh yeah, yeah.
all these do. From the 7, once you get to here. All right, we are way off.
732 might.
Let's do 752 instead of 85. Instead of 853, we're on 752.
Yeah.
Twos change it too much because nobody has enough twos in range.
All right.
Now we click on the RFIO, right? So we click on cutoff. I guess
Now we look at
I
the
guess
blind and see, does
if
he
they have any
have
donks.
So this is the one thing we see. He does check everything.
Go back to one where there's a straight possible.
Okay. Let's go. Let's see how do we
I think he still has donks in the same configuration if he would have cut off from versus big blind on those boards.
Right. Okay. So that's this guy here. We're doing cutoff button big blind, right? That's what we said?
Yeah.
Cutoff button big blind. There we go.
Let me see. 874.
874. There we go.
I think he has some donks in this configuration.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. Nope.
Nope.
Now let's look at the next guy. So if he checks, let's see what the cutoff. He's the initial raiser.
He should be checking range.
And he checks range. So we're at least seeing this heuristic that we said was there. The only guy who gets to bet on this flop is
In position. In position gets to go ham.
Yeah. He bets a
What's his
lot.
betting frequency? It's 84%.
No, 57 total.
He checks 42, he bets 57. And his bet size is 264, is small. Just
where's the pot size?
pot is about 775, something like that.
I don't know, does it show it there? I was just wondering.
$8.
It's $8.
So it's actually less than 30%.
I wonder why they chose these very interesting 2.64 sizes.
So now when he bets, now we get to see this is going to check raise his fours and his sevens, I think. And maybe not his eights.
Yeah. So I guess that's exactly betting a third. That's why they did it.
Yeah. A little bit of check raising the fours, not a lot. A little bit of sevens, a lot of eights. Wow. When we block the top pair, we bet. I would think it'd be the opposite.
Well,
Agreed.
there's like not enough. Maybe there's not enough Broadway cards that hit the other players' range for you to want to check raise, not want to check raise top pair maybe.
Right. The range connectivity problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything.
So yeah, this is the first interesting heuristic, right?
Yeah.
We've got top of range, absolute top of range here in big blind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a two-tone board, we don't have pure check raises with the top of range.
No. And the surprising thing to me is that the middle set and bottom set check raise significantly less.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
can we change the look and see equity? Is that possible here? I guess we can.
No, I don't think this one does equity.
If we click on it, it might. Was there a click? It's not showing it.
Oh.
It's
Okay,
very
no worries.
interesting.
My guess is maybe because of the configuration and the positions. Maybe you want to check raise the top set so you could get value from the worst sets, maybe, and you don't want to do vice versa.
Well,
yeah, but I don't think you're
Maybe.
that afraid of set over set here, are you? Really?
I don't. Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
Well, there's a difference when you have pocket eights. They almost never have top pair. When you have sevens and fours, they are likely to have top pair if they're betting in their
Right.
value range. In their value range.
Right. That's why
you don't want to chase them out. With eights, you're like, all right, they probably don't have top pair. Let's hope they have an overpair or something else they can call.
Oh, so you're thinking that sevens and four, you're thinking that 8x is going to fold to a check raise from a 7 and a 4. I mean, it doesn't matter what I have. That 8x will do some folding.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas overpairs will not. That's possible.
Right. Draws available and stuff.
Like if you call, I'm interested, call the big blind.
Okay.
And I want to see cutoff.
His overpairs just call.
Yeah. And again, pocket eights are. Well, he's now last to act in relative position.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have more raises than we would.
Yeah.
What about 9-8? What's 9-8 doing? Are we raising the?
It's mixing.
Are we raising
raises and calls?
Okay. What about 10-9 of hearts? 10-9 of hearts is good enough to call. The others call, but good enough to raise.
Looks like
raises.
10-9 of hearts is raising.
Straight draw, flush draw.
Yeah, I misspoke. So, what's our raise size to? It's 13.
13 point. Oh, I gotta expand my screen. I can't even see that.
13.78.
13.78.
Interesting.
So like 6x.
Yeah. Let me take a quick look at something and see if anything has blown up that I need to do. No. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
So this tool told us something.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that
Can we go back and try?
Yeah.
Is that
very
all
top of range is not a pure check raise.
Okay.
You only have 2 post flop configurations it'll let you do?
Yeah. For three-way. This may not be the greatest tool for us, but we'll see if we can get more out of it. We're going, and the way we go back is this. This is obviously not the cleanest way to go back to the options, but that's how we got it. There's only these. And you wanted to see What
Well,
was
I
it?
wanted to see one with small blind, but doesn't
Yeah,
small blind, big blind to see if the big blind does much raising on the turn after
Yep.
it checks around.
yep, we don't have that. Okay. Back to
I'm
hand.
sorry, it seems like this might have been a waste of money, Scotty.
Might have been. But we'll give it, we'll see. We'll see if we can figure out what it does better. So there's
I mean,
him.
if we get the drilling to work, that'll be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, we can do
I'll play with it
tomorrow.
on a free version tonight.
Sounds good. All right, here we go. Fold, 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 raise, fold, fold, fold. And the king eight suited should absolutely not fold, but does he raise there? King eight against the hijack has got, this is a mix. He can mix raises and folds. I mean, risk raises and calls. No folding. There's the raise. The raise is to 3 big blinds, which changes his response a little bit. And he calls. Oh, is either of them a broken stack? They're both broken.
I don't know if he has calls with that in a broken stack.
Yeah, I don't know about the broken stack either. We can look at the you can look in the wizard. You've got the shorter stack version of the wizard if you want to take a look at that.
I don't know if I have that right now because of
Okay. If anybody wants to take a look.
my paid version is up.
Okay. Well, let's do anybody who wants to see if they can find a broken stack answer in the wizard.
All right, so who was it? Hijack versus big blind.
Hijack big blind. Yeah. I would think that it's good enough too. Just instinctively, but who knows?
Yeah, it still calls. There's no raising.
There's no raising in a broken stack.
The only scenario I could run is 2x. I can't run 2.5x.
Right. So take a look in 2x. Anyway, this is 3x. Okay.
Hijack big blind, 2x, king 8 suited calls.
How low does he go? What does king 7, king 6, king 5 do?
They mostly call, but every king below that has some raising.
Okay, but no folding.
No folding.
Okay, then
all the suited queens call too.
In that case, then even at 3 big blinds, you'd expect you wouldn't go that this is going to be good enough to play. So I like it, and I think on this board, I think it's just going to be he's going to check. The king 9 suited is going to bet, and he's going to fold. Nope, but he bets out. He just says you don't have that.
Well, he does have a somewhat donkable flop.
He does have a donk range here. This is a donkable board.
Yeah.
I just think that's not a good hand to choose to dunk.
Yeah.
Same.
It has nothing
to work.
It has nothing to going with it. Yep, but it worked. But it had going with it what the other guy didn't have. So
I think it might have worked better as a check raise, maybe.
I don't think he's going to get it in as a check raise.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It's also he's putting it's a lot of money for he has no equity when called. No equity. He's 2 overs, but so all right. Fold, fold, raise, fold, fold, 3-bet, and he's short. So he should definitely he should just jam.
Yeah.
Fold, fold, and I probably need to call the jam with a king queen suited. So this isn't good for me. Let's see what happens. Raise. He just 3-bets.
So awkward.
I know. And at this SPR,
I wonder if this ever becomes a fold because you have essentially no implied odds here because of the stack size, and you're dominated by what we can assume is a large part of this 3-betting range, especially to this size. I wonder if this now, because of stack size, becomes a fold.
All right, I can run this low jack versus cutoff.
Okay.
Flop. See.
Yeah.
But this is 20 big blinds, Joey. So I don't.
He's going to run it. He's going to run it short. Okay. He's going to look at it short. And if not, we'll look at it as we can look at it as a tournament short and just see.
Yeah.
I know there's an extra big blind in there.
What are you using to do that? To run it?
GTO Wizard.
He's
Oh,
doing a
okay.
GTO wizard, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it a really weird way while you do that. I'm gonna go to
Um,
MT.
do
Feels
you
like a
want me to
fold.
share? Because this is going to be hard to explain this whole.
Yeah, yep. I'll turn it off.
So this is the 20 big blind, and we got shoves all around king queen suited, but king queen suited is a call.
Interesting.
Right.
When, but his raise, how many? So you could see. Yeah, I thought he'd be shoving more. He doesn't really have a lot of shoves here
Yeah,
at 20 big blinds.
yeah. So he raises his ace queen, and when it comes back to us, we don't fold.
Call.
However, let's keep in mind that his 3-bet size is 5 big blinds in the solve, not 8.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, the king queen is not. I mean, it's not even thinking about folding there. And when you play it, here we go. Another inaccurate way of looking at it is this. Let me share my screen. Imagine a tournament where it goes to, we were the high, what were we? Hijack or cutoff?
I thought you were in the low jack.
Yeah, in the actual hand, you are actually under the gun +1,
Yeah,
but
that's
we
right.
can't.
We can do that. Under the gun +1, 9-handed, right? So that's under the gun.
I think so.
Yeah, let's look at this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are low jack -1.
Yeah, low check -1.
Here we go. Raise. He's in the cutoff. In the cutoff, there he is with his ace queen. Does he have any non-all-in raises? I mean, I know I'm not folding here. I know that I'm calling or jamming. I'm either jamming going, well, this is what's happening, or I'm calling. And you are being reloaded. Moving on.
Alpha's back.
Welcome back.
So I guess against the 8 big blind raise, I would guess that this is probably more like a bluff shove because it blocks kings and queens. And then these two might be folding.
In reality, I don't think when short stack 3-bets to that size, I don't know if they have a fold in range. Scotty, you're on mute, by the way, in case you didn't know. Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know if I could find the discipline fold there. I almost feel like call is the worst option that short.
Am I still on mute?
You are
No,
not
we
on
got
mute.
you now.
Okay, you got me now. All right. Yeah. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know what happened is I'm going to lose 20 big blinds. And I'm going to lose them in this order. I'm going to check.
You're not sharing.
Oh, well, we all know what happened. Up had a queen in it. So I'm just losing 20 big blinds here. Oh, no, I'm not.
Yes.
That's the other way to play.
Well played.
Turn on the, thank you so much.
Someone's
on
on
the
tilt.
There we go.
Well, he's probably left now. There
Yeah.
he is, gone.
Yep, he's gone.
Boo.
All right.
Rage
Fold.
quit.
Right. Fold, fold, fold. Queen 10 in the hijack has some raising, but is mostly folding. But Queen 10 in the hijack is about 50%. Is that true? No, wait a minute. I'm thinking the wrong direction. Queen 10 in the hijack has some playing, mostly folding. Right. He folds, and now this should just be fold, Queen Jack raise. Oh, all right. You're gonna
Now, this
ISO.
is an interesting spot with Queen Jack off. I mean, you can easily fold, but I wonder against the wide limping range of button, if you do have some with one person behind, I wonder if you get to ISO, this is a bluff. No one knows the true answer, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah. Plus, you've got
I always
25
bet
big
here.
blinds. This 25
I
big
would always bet.
thing's awkward.
Yeah, he's got a broken stack that changes it.
Yeah.
Derek, what did you say? Sorry.
I think that I would always bet here. I don't.
So you would raise ISO, right?
I like
Yeah,
it.
because anyone who limps in the button, I think, I put a big pink bozo sticker on their forehead.
Yeah. I'm good with you.
So
I wouldn't mind with pride.
that's probably exploitable, but I just assume the guy's an idiot if he's limping on the button.
Yeah. It's how often are you limp trapping from the button with only two people behind you? Yeah. So I think so. But he calls.
Oh my God.
And now the 4-3 is easy. Just check and get equity you never should have seen. There you go. Now we're in a three-way thing. We cannot run this in our three-way tool because of the limps and the short stacks. And because we don't know how to use our three-way tool. But with it, heuristically, since no one aggressed, I think that these are not donk bets. You can just bet. You can just bet his strength.
Was this a limp pot?
This is a limp pot.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of ignore the heuristics in a limp pot.
Yeah. He just bets it. Gets a call. This is great. Life is terrible. But I guess he definitely does need to check here.
Yeah, luckily it's a spade, so it should allow him to
Everything, yeah.
slow down.
But he doesn't. There's the very, very small raise.
Back.
Yeah. Which is intended to keep him in, which it's going to do, but he's got, 11% equity to hit a full house. This is a guy just desperately wanting to get called rather than make money.
Nice.
Poker is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, bail it out.
Yep. Check. There we go.
That was actually very smart by both players.
To check there. Yeah.
So a couple of notes here on that hand. When somebody limps the button, it's one of the things that is automatic green tag. For me, it's green.
Mhm.
Like they can play one hand and it's immediately he's an idiot. He's a fish.
Yeah.
The other note I wanted to make was that in those limp pots and you're in the big blind and you checked your option. Yeah, I will lead out for value and with some bluffs as well. But yeah, I will definitely lead out value.
Did you see my post the other day in the Discord?
No.
Don't tag people as a fish. It doesn't
it's
anything about the player.
So a green tag for me is just somebody that I know is not a studied player. Sometimes I'll tag a blue tag to be, okay, keep an eye on this person. They did something that's, a little off, but keep an eye out. But yeah, green is kind of a special tag that means they are definitely not studied.
But what does it tell you individually about their play?
About that specific play, I have no idea, but that they're not very good.
I mean,
Whether that good means they're too passive, too aggressive, whatever, I don't know yet.
And Joey, the thing you're advising is you're saying that you need a tag that's more specific than that.
Yeah, it gives more information than just saying fish. Because the reason I'm saying this is because what I've been seeing in the Discord is people are putting fish into a little box. Like every single fish is always the same.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are fish because they're too tight. Some people are fish because they're too loose. Some people are fish because they're too aggressive. They don't know when to put on the brakes. Some people are fish because they play ABC post flop. Some people are fish because they're a calling station post flop. I'm just trying to express to be more specific in your tags and your descriptions other than just saying fish?
So
R-
so I think it's a two-step process. The second you see somebody limp the button, you say, this is someone who is not studied, and I want to figure out how he plays wrong. Because it's hard to figure out how everyone plays at the table at the same time. That's too much attention. So this is the guy, let's start watching him. So that's your first step with your tag. And then you want a note that says what it was.
Do you know what
First note is
do you
limp the
know
button.
do you know the order of players you should when you're sitting at a live table? Online is different because you have a HUD always working.
Yeah.
When you're sitting at a live table, who are the players you should focus on first?
So
who is on your immediate left?
and immediately, and then two to your left. Those are your two people
Yeah,
first.
the one
Yeah.
person to your right and two to your
And-
immediate left.
Yeah.
I focus on the biggest stacks and the person who's drinking the most.
No, well, the reason you want to pick those three players are those are the ones you're going to be in most pots with.
Yeah.
What if I'm the one that's drinking the most? Is that okay?
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes
it
total
doesn't
sense.
mean you have to ignore the other players, but our attention is not infinite.
Right.
After playing hours and hours and hours, it's hard to watch. If you're trying to watch everybody, every hand, your brain's just gonna. So you pay attention to everybody, but you focus more when those three players are in the hand until you get an idea how they play.
Yeah, I like that.
And
Yep.
then just keep moving. One player, one player, one player, one player.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, I think we're trying to say, Joey, is like before you jump to conclusions, have more hands with this player and don't be so quick to label them as such.
Well, no, what I'm afraid of is people label them as a fish and then never refine that label.
Stop thinking. Yeah, they say fish and stop thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
people have a set of 5 assumptions they make about someone who plays parlay, and that means that they always call 3 bets too wide, et cetera, et cetera. And those assumptions can get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Because
Alright.
you know what they say about assumption.
That it's usually misspelled. All right, here we go. Fold, 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 raise, fold, call. And do the deuces ever 3-bet against the button?
No way. I don't
no.
think so.
Nope. It's a call.
Nah,
It's a call.
I wouldn't 3-bet against a 25 big blind stack.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, deuces are terrible.
And it
And-
depends how big he opens too.
Yeah, you might just fold.
You might have to fold.
Right. But then this happens. Off a broken stack in early position. The 8-7 with only 25 big blinds should fold, and the deuces should against a 40 big blind stack should absolutely call. No folds from the deuces. Here.
Ace-7 should 3-bet. 8-7.
8-7.
8-7.
Oh, you think so? With only 25 big blinds? I thought with 25 big blinds he should just fold.
Let me
Yeah, I think so.
take
I
a quick
think-
look.
Yeah. Even with a full stack, when you say should 3-bet, you mean to some frequency.
Yeah. I think you need more.
Yeah,
Maybe like-
no, that's shorted as a pure fold.
Yeah, that
I
makes
would
sense.
have 3-bet it.
You also wouldn't have been 25 big blinds.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Exactly.
sitting in a cash game with 25 big
Exactly.
blinds.
But as played, this makes the deuces an easy call, I think.
Agreed.
And let's look in our new toy. Oh no, we can look in our old, well, we've got the depths are all messed up.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think their toys are going to help us here.
All right,
I'm
there.
going. All right,
We're
first,
we're toyless at this point.
Yes,
all right, at 20 big blinds, the big blind calls with twos, and then I'm just going to check at 40. Button call, big blind. At both in both scenarios at 20 and 40 to the big blind calls.
And this is after a button call. This is as the third person in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, three
Check,
bet. Okay.
check full stacks, Joey, at 100 and what the suited connected 3-bet frequency is
For what?
For the button.
for this hand, for the button.
Oh.
8-7.
At full stacks.
Oh, do you mean in GTO or
Yeah,
in my
GTO.
world?
No, in GTO.
Well, no, yeah, we don't in GTO.
I'm going to
Alright,
guess
so I can
50%.
actually use 9 max for this then.
Yep.
Is it low jack -1?
1, 2, 3. No, it's low jack -2.
Okay, so raise 2.5. And the button. Let me.
I'm going to
It
guess.
mostly folds 8-7 suited. Calls 16% and 3 bets 15%.
Okay. There we go. But having called, the deuces do fine. Now, three-way, we're thinking that this queen nine, with now not thinking about stack sizes, just thinking about our three-way thing. We're going to look at this. I'm going to guess this queen nine does check. And we're going to go look this up in whatever configuration we can. It's going to be.
Yeah, I think we could do low jack button, big blind.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see low jack button, big blind, and take a look on a flop like this. But he bets large, which we also think is not a thing. We expect that.
Yeah, if he has bets,
it's
it's going to be like
small.
3.
Yeah, and he's responding to, oh my gosh, there's a flush draw out there, and I don't think he needs to respond to that. Given he's only got 20 big blinds, I don't think the 8-7 is actually.
I mean,
I
think it's a call because, I mean, he's getting direct odds.
He's getting direct odds. He really is. You're right.
So it's a call.
Particular case. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not getting direct odds because you have to look at it from the flop to the turn. When there's more money left behind, you can't just assume you're going to see the river for free.
No, he's right. He's 36% equity, but he's only having to put in 26% now. But he's not 36% to make his hand by the next card.
Right.
Right. So he's not getting direct odds for this.
Right.
If this was all in for 5 big blinds, he'd be getting.
All right, so how many outs does he have? He has 9.
Well, he really only has he has
13.
8. He has 8 good
13.
ones. 13? Where are you getting 13? He's got a straight
He's got
draw.
an open-ended straight.
Right. So that's 8
no,
odds.
he doesn't have a direct flush draw.
Right. Yeah. It's eight outs plus a backdoor.
Let's count 9 outs then.
Yeah, 9 ounce-ish.
Like say he's 18%.
Yeah.
So he should not be calling this.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have a decent implied odds to follow up on it. The 2's full. And now he can successfully lose 17 big blinds on this. Bet 6. He's not folding now. And now he can fold. But if the queen checks, which he should.
The queen 9 should probably check now.
He's going to check. And then if he goes for the bluff. Nope, the queen 9 decides that he's going to turn his 9 into a bluff.
Oh, he's got to fold now.
Yeah, of course he's got to fold. But that's interesting that he turns his 9 into. But that's what he just.
I don't know if the 9 would necessarily be a bluff there. I mean, it would. It's not a great value bet, but I mean, once you bet the turn, like what's villain? The ace isn't really something that. Like it's not a card to be too worried about.
And you block.
Are you not worried at all about the heart?
Yeah, the flush draw.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't like the value bet myself, but maybe I'm just talking myself out of it now.
Yeah, I think it plays much better as a check call. It's an easy.
Yeah, like
you block the flush, which is great.
And you have marginal made hand.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to really bet this.
Yeah.
Because check, he's likely winning.
And when called, he's likely losing, and therefore it's a bluff.
Yeah,
I think it's too
yeah,
strong
good
to
call.
turn into a bluff.
Right, I agree.
Right.
I'm
That's
saying
kind of what I mean, yeah.
when you bet all in here, you're bluffing because it's very, I mean, yeah, maybe you could get called by 10-9 and Jack-9. That's what I think. All right. Fold, 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 raise on 11, on 11. Just jam. Why are you playing with 11? Just jam ace-9 for 11. Fold, fold, and the king-10
I
against
don't
a,
know.
Min raise
We're
ace nine?
not playing with antes. We're playing with rakes. I don't know if that's a shove.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into I don't know if this helps us talking about how
Yeah,
10 big blind stack should work. I mean, that's not
yeah.
something.
We'll just see what he does. We'll just see what 10 big blind stacks do. I don't know. Yeah, what they should do is they shouldn't be there. So
Okay, what they should do is go to a lower stake game with play a bigger stack.
yeah. Interestingly for me, I have all the odds in the world. I mean, there, but there's zero. The implied odds are so small.
You're
I
not
shove.
folding this, are you?
What?
I shove.
I'm certainly thinking about it. Against 10 big blinds?
About folding?
No, about shoving.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
What?
thinking just
I'm
shove.
totally fine with shoving.
Yeah.
I'm fine with shoving. I thought you were talking about you can't call this.
No, I can call.
I was like
I just
wondering
thought
where you're coming from.
no, what I was thinking about whether, a regular jam. I mean, a regular raise makes no sense. That's what I was saying. Like raising it to 8 makes no sense. Just jam it. And there we go. Get it in from behind and lose. Raise.
You could have called that too.
I could have called.
Let me see. I could run that at 20.
Okay.
Button raise 2. King 10 suit. Actually, they're at 20.
Mhm.
I know it's not the same. King 10 suited mixes calls and shoves.
All right. Great.
This is in cash.
Yes. At
Right.
20 big blinds.
Great. So at 10, it probably shoves a bit more than it, probably skews that, although there's still some calling.
Does it make sense to look at the
Yeah.
entire range in big blind?
At 20. All right.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Right.
You know,
Here we go. We'll learn we'll learn short stack play.
now you've piqued my interest. Okay, so 20 big blinds, NL50. Okay,
So we got button open. So button's not shoving anything here. And
all right. So this is our shoving. Okay, cool. Thanks.
It
Our
was
shoving
cut
range
off, by
mixed
the
with
way.
our inducing 3 raised to 6.
It was cut off, by the way.
what did you say?
I said our shoving range and our inducing raised to 6.
Right. And it was cut off. It's not going to make much of a difference, but
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
make
it was
sure.
cut off?
It was cut off.
Let's... I thought it was the button.
No, it's cut off. Similar.
Yeah, it just
King 10 becomes
it looks like the
king jack.
same types of responses just moved around, shuffled around a little.
Yep.
You played this perfectly.
Yeah. Well, against 20 big blinds. He had 10. So
Yeah, it can't be wrong.
no, it's this. All right. Ace 10 raises, Jack should absolutely 3-bet him. His 3-bet's going to go 7. He doesn't need to jam it.
Jack
I've run into this. Yeah, Jack's going to have a very high frequency fold that
Oh,
early.
but he's got a broken stack too.
But with 30 big blinds, I don't think
30 big blinds. Yeah.
30 big blinds.
Oh.
I think that Jack
Well,
is
that changes it.
he could jam it, but I don't think he needs to. But I don't think Jack ever folds there.
I think there's high probability we're gonna see a jam from these
Yeah,
jacks.
I ran into this very specific spot this past week and looked it up, and Jack was like really, really foldy, like 90%.
Oh yeah.
No, not that short.
It's not as early. It's also
No,
not.
I know, not that short. I'm not talking about these stacks. I'm talking full
Yeah.
stacks.
This is also, but it's not as early as you think. It's one, there's a dead seat at the table, but it's still early. Yep.
Okay, so he chooses a different bet.
Yeah.
In
He
my
chooses an extra small 3-bet, and with his shorter stack, his 3-bet size can be smaller, but not this small.
Yeah, in GTO Wizard, it's 2.5x at 40. And 2.5x at 20.
Right. So there you go. He was at 30. So this should be to 6.25.
Wait, 2.5x is what? That's the next, that's the 3-bet?
3-bet size, yeah, because he's short.
So 5.5.
Not 6.5? Not 6.25?
All right, so 5 and then half. Yeah, 6.25.
Okay, good. Yeah. So
Wait, let's just do calculator. It's simpler. For some reason my mind's not working right now.
okay. You do that.
Yeah, 6.25.
Right, but then this happens.
interesting.
Alexa, stop timer.
So
Alexa,
now,
play better.
so now, um, so what do you guys do with your ace 10 suited here? I think I'd probably get out of the way and let this guy left me off my ace 10 suited.
Absolutely. Just fold. You,
Yep.
this guy is the jacks, you're so incentivized. The jacks, when he has a hand, is so incentivized to jam here.
And it's such an early 3-bet. I think that I can,
Just
and
fold. Yeah.
against these broken stacks, I think I can happily fold these down.
Yeah, that was great. And then the jacks, I mean, he can call, but it just I think he just commits himself now. He does. And the king two goes, oh, and the king two doesn't go. I was just kidding. All right.
Everybody asks themselves the hard question why you're not playing Ignition right now.
Exactly. Who are these people, and do you have their names and addresses? All right. And the king deuce leaves. I guess he wanted to leave.
It was a suicide show.
It was.
So
Fold, 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 fold. A walk to the 6-7. Nope. Oh, yeah, the ace 3 here. The ace
ace
3
3 gets to RFI, I think.
the ace 3 is as actually a pure raise here in many
Right.
charts.
Right. It's not a limp raise or limp, right? It's just a flat raise.
But it depends if you have any limps in the small blind. We play with no limps in the small blind, and ace 3 is ace deuce is a fold and ace 3 is a raise. And the wizard, which
Right.
has some limping, I bet it's going to mix it.
I would argue that these rate levels,
Mhm.
it benefits us not to have them.
I agree.
You're at 20 big, Scotty. MTT.
Oh, well, that's not good. Cash 100, general NL 50, 2.5, everything is good. Change to 9-handed.
Yeah, I could see myself maybe limping more like ace 6, ace 7, maybe.
So here you go. If you have a limping range, the ace 3 does it a fair amount in a wizard's limping range, but we don't.
Yes, Kate, I would argue it doesn't benefit us to add them.
No, just make your life simple. The added EV of playing perfectly from the small blind with a limping range compared to playing perfectly from the small blind with no limping range is very, very small.
Okay.
And it's easier to play perfectly without a limping range because the limping range makes it much more complicated. And none of us.
Yes. Yeah. So don't like overcomplicate yourself with the small blind strategy.
That's what I think.
Okay.
But he does. He does. And Villain 6 has a very easy call here. Doesn't have to know his hands are. The Villain 6's decision is made. That's a bad card for Villain 6, but I don't think he folds yet. He did. I mean, you
I
can see
wouldn't
why,
fold there either.
you can see why it's such a bad card for him.
Yeah, I would call.
Yeah, but there are still spades out there. There's still a 6-8, a 4-6, a 4-8, and nonsense.
Just ranges are so wide in the configuration.
Yeah, right. Fold, fold, raise, fold. Ace-8 suited in the cutoff. This is right. I don't know what this does.
I think it mixes 3 bets.
3 bets and folds. Yeah, with no calls. So
Yeah.
fold and then fold. So let's see what happens if this instead we get this happening.
So this puts your ace-6 suited in early position in a very interesting and perplexing position.
Yeah, he can call behind. He can call or ISO.
Yeah.
I would ISO it.
And we
Pure, almost.
Say what?
I would ISO it pure.
Yeah. But
when we could see the reason for a bigger sizing, right?
Yeah.
Bigger sizing potentially squeezes out the ace-8 suited.
Yeah.
Squeezes out the queen-jack suited. I would use a bigger size if I'm going to make this choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Against the 9-5's broken stack, I don't think should affect your sizing here. Because your sizing, I think, is for the other players.
Yeah, your sizing is to squeeze this guy heads up.
Yeah, I agree. Using Joey's thing of the top half of your range 2 positions earlier, you're in the low jack, so ace-6 absolutely raises in the low jack -2. It's a pure raise. And is it in the top half? Yeah, probably.
No, I think it's just outside the top half, but we have seen this person limp several times.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be expanding my range versus him.
Yep. Yeah, and then this becomes easy. One other
I think
thing
what's more
about
interesting is what happens when it gets to you.
I think I just fold because
Yeah, I think it's a fold too.
Yeah. Because Villain 3 is lacking the very bottom of his opening range. The easy fold bluffs are probably not there. But I call. I think it's a better fold than that. I don't think that's good. But at least it's better than that. So I'm getting equity from that position.
Scotty, I want to see a little bit of this red line action today.
All right, let's see some red line action. You're not going to see it in multi-way pots.
Yeah, true.
And the ace-6 could call here. Multi-way he shouldn't, I don't
So
think.
this is a spot we've all been into. So I wonder if this is good enough to bluff raise in position with your uncapped range, right?
No, it's a fold.
Well, let me finish my point.
Which
you've got the overpair advantage. You do have backdoor draws. This guy's, he's just doing idiotic stuff. Maybe you do get to have some bluff raises.
But you're 3-way.
True, and it's a paired board. It's just a weird spot.
Yeah, it's a weird spot. And while I'm capped, I'm also condensed. I being ace-8.
Because you also have to recognize that your MDF is cut in half pretty much here.
Yeah.
And you will have the overpair often enough to make this idiot pay for his play.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to make something out of every single hand you have when you're going to get the hands you need often enough to make him pay.
Right. And you don't need to bat in multi-way spots.
I do like the thought experiment though. I think that's a bad position for it. I was thinking in Hero's position, if you had the ace eight of hearts, spades, or clubs would be a better play at it. But
And his ace six of
with
clubs becomes totally is kind of nice there in hero position. And now the guy with the 9-5 is so happy. He is so proud. He's going to play this next hand, I believe. Just for that. And he's going to play it by limping. That is my prediction. All right, here we go.
Do you guys have ever limps here with the 6-5?
It seems a
not
little
in that
early
position
for it. Yeah,
It's just too early.
seems it,
for me.
but it's
Yep,
not terrible.
same.
You get three
Well,
bet, you get raised, you just fold.
He might, if he knows that villain one is awful, it might be worth plus EV because you're playing against an awful player.
Not if you limp.
ISO it though. ISO
Yeah.
it. Don't call.
Yeah.
Don't overcall.
Yeah,
So maybe bet 4 here or 5,
right. 4.5, like a normal. So yeah,
just because you're playing against a guy who you want to get into pots with.
all right. I should fold. Ace Jack should absolutely ISO. He does, but too small. Okay. Continue. And the board is a board that he can bet large on. His hand doesn't want to bet large. His hand technically doesn't even want to bet.
No, that's a check.
Yeah. But he bets and it gets a fold. There we go. Yeah, that's a good check behind there. Raise, fold all the way to the 10-6. Anybody think whether the 10-6 is going to defend against this raise?
I wouldn't take that bet.
He's gonna defend.
All right. I think he's not gonna. Let's see what the size is. 3. I think he's not going to defend. But I have no confidence in it. Yep, there we go. He doesn't.
Oh,
All right. Fold. Raise here. Ace 8 suited is probably a 3-bet on the button. 3-bet and call, but it's not a fold against the cutoff. Oh, he limps anyway. So
This feels like an ISO versus the
This would be a
limp,
very good
especially because when you get to playing, well, he's got a broken stack. I mean, who knows?
this would be nice.
It's all out the door. So
Right. So ISO to 2.
wow.
So yes, you can push your raise sizes down with a smaller stack, but not that small.
yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
And there you go. Villain 1 gets to not realize 22% equity, but gets to see a flop with 22% equity that he should never have seen. Villain 2 should fold. But he doesn't for the same reason. And villain 7.
Right, and
I think we lost
your
Scotty again.
I know, no, I'm trying
he's
to
there. And Scotty,
Yeah.
your reason for folding Queen 7 on the big blind, I'm assuming, is because there's still action left from villain 7. So
No, that's
well,
that's
partially.
true. That's true, and that's a reason to do it, but it's not my reason. My reason is that in multi-way pots, Queen 7 has reverse implied pot odds, and that is more important than the express odds you're getting. And to say that out, which is the more players that are in, the worse a hand like Queen 7 off is. When you hit your 7, you lose. When you hit your queen, you lose. Too
What-
often.
Okay.
Maybe the way to think about it, Skate, is that you want the flat hands here that can make the nuts. So what are those hands? So an easy example would be pairs, which can set, and suited connectors, which can make straights and flushes.
And when you're out of position, you have equity realization issues. And your equity realization is even larger in a multi-way pot.
That is true, even for one big blind.
Yeah.
So where so I'm assuming maybe like Queen Jack offsuit
Queen
should
Jack
be
is
somewhere on
Queen
your
Jack
bottom
is
right.
straight because it can make the straight.
Queen 10, you start folding or you call off.
Suited or off?
Offsuit.
Off.
Suited is easy. Suited is easy. You can call it and you can raise it. You don't fold it suited.
So like yeah, where is the red line? Like, is it Queen 9 off or Queen 10
I
off?
mean, one way to look is you can't get four-way, but you could look at like, I mean, example would be like if you had villain 5 open, button calls, and then you can look at the ranges in GTO Wizard, right? You can see what it does there. And then you
Yeah.
can extrapolate from there. So
let's make it a 2 big blind open.
Yeah, I assume maybe my
I
intuition
think you can go to any and opening size any, and then go to,
Queen Jack
or maybe
off.
it's opening size GTO and have it a late position open. Actually, I think we'll do it.
Here we go. The last 2 is a hijack. So the hijack opens, and now the cutoff has a call. And let's see who they actually were. It was the cutoff. So fold it. Let's do the actual hand. No, we can't. There's that. Then the button calls. That's what happened. The small blind, looking at the small blind range here. 6-5 is not in it. And
But they get to set line.
None of this offsuit stuff calls, but absolutely all these pairs call. Deuces don't. You've got some folds there, but still, you can see all that. So yeah, your suited stuff is doing something here. But once he calls, look at that. Not even Queen 10.
Yeah, it's all about
Even
being able to make the nuts here.
Even King Jack off is
Look at that.
frequently folding.
Yeah. Yeah, my intuition was off on that. My reasons were right, but what they meant was wrong. Yeah, everything. And look at all this suited stuff that's folding. Now let's fold the small blind and see how it changes. Now we got a little bit of this here. And we're still folding all this suited stuff, just 3-way.
I fold these suited gappers. I think I need to think about openings, flattening these suited gappers.
These guys here? Yeah.
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 Now, turn it into a 2.5 big blind or 3 big blind initial open, and I think this tightens up considerably.
All right, let's do that. Oh my. Oh my, yes.
Oh, even more than I thought. Yeah.
Oh my.
Like, look at your suited aces.
Yeah.
I would never fold those there.
Yep. And this is exactly what we talked about before.
Yep.
Right. Now fold that small blind and these come back in and your gappers are doing a lot of folding, but all your suited connectors play and all your offsuit stuff is like that. Okay. So this is bad. And I guess for the same reason, ace 9 should fold here. Crazy as that sounds. He won't.
Yeah,
and he didn't limp in to get one raise. And the raise
I don't
sucks,
know.
but it's like as if he's in his mind.
This is like the great unknown.
He's not, he's out of position only to one player.
Yeah.
Who made the raise?
Who made the raise? Who made the call it a raise?
Oh. I mean, I don't know because I wouldn't be in the spot. I wouldn't limp ace 9.
Right. So let's look at it
true.
a different way. Ignore the sizes for a second and let's play this more correct off our theory more correctly. We've got 100 big blinds here. We open raised. We got 3-bet here and called in 2 places. Ace 9 is an instant fold, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No brainer fold
Yep.
when you don't think about the sizes. The
Yep.
sizes price you in for hands that can make the nuts. Fold. Fold for one big blind. That's my claim here.
I'm with you.
All right.
Okay, that's-
Zero chance.
Uh,
Zero.
yeah, I like the fold.
Yep.
But hear me out for a second.
Okay.
If this was a tag team game where a different player count, you flip back and forth at every decision, and my partner limped, then I get back to the table, see this.
Mm-hmm.
How about making it 10 or 12?
Turn it into a bluff. And then figure that if the ace-8 re-raises, then he bet as small as he could to try to get people in, and you just fold. It's great at
Yeah.
What do you do though after when the ace-8 calls you? Then you still have no idea whether he's slow playing or not.
I would play almost like a single raise pot.
Okay.
That's assuming small blind and big blind fold, and
Right.
you're only called by ace-8 suited.
Right. And I assume in a tag team that it's a couples tag team and it's with your wife and you're not allowed to complain on the way home. Why did you limp that? Right? You have to keep your mouth shut.
Well, I mean, you got to choose your priority.
Right.
Is poker a priority or is your marriage a priority?
Yeah.
I might have to flip a coin.
Yeah. I use a randomizer for that. Okay. So, I see what you mean. I think that I think the best thing here to do is fold still, but I see the raise.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying folding.
I mean,
I
that's
know what you mean. Why that the
I
raise
think
has some merit here.
we're getting the right odds to call. So I say call and hopefully flop some kind of two pair.
We already saw that the big blind doesn't do that when they're getting the right odds.
Yeah, look at that ace-9. Look at what the
Yeah.
look at when the big blind is closing the action with just one other player there at two big blinds.
Yeah.
He only has to call one big blind. This is almost the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's worse. No, it's the same out of position because there's no he's second out of position to the hijack. Oh no, the button call. Let's fold the button. Let's make it this. We're gonna fold it. He gets but look at the difference there. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Ace-9 is still a fold to one big blind, therefore it's a fold, from the cutoff even more, I think. But look at the interesting thing that when you put him out of position to one more player.
Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. It's still the same ace-10. It didn't. I thought he folded even ace-10. So same thing. But he does get to call more when the small blind calls than the button. Just looking at this difference of ranges.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I was just thinking maybe since he's sort of more in position that he gets to flat some hands more often.
Right, but look at I've just put him more in position. It's the small blind, so it's hijack, small blind, big blind. So he's only out of position to one player, and that lets him call these when he's out of position to two players.
Yeah,
he calls a lot less.
Wow, that's dramatic.
Less.
Yeah.
So
the out of position makes a difference, but ace-9 is still a fold.
Still okay. So you need like some kind of Broadway kind of connect, like some 10 something, right? 10 queen, 10 jack.
Got to make a straight, and then here we see that when you say but my odds are even better because there's one more player in. Your odds for this 8 big blind pot, your pot odds are better, but you're not playing for pot odds. You're playing for implied odds, and your implied odds are terrible because they're reverse. But of course he calls.
Yeah.
I think this is going to get checked around. I think that villain one, this is our villain two is our no, villain one is our friend who is playing that way. So I think he probably there's a chance he'll bet. Nope. Blush draw. Okay. And what does villain one do in this position? He really should fold with the best hand. Yep. And that should work. Even though it's so hard for the other guy, it's so hard for this guy to have had a king here. It's so hard. I mean, what is he representing here?
Ace king, maybe king queen suited or king queen off, maybe even.
Yeah, but did he really check those on the flop in position?
Yeah, probably not that most way.
And so
Or
what's he repping? Sevens through queens?
I don't know. Maybe he's such a bad player that he probably just did. I mean, maybe
I mean, I don't think the 6-5 can call here, from out of position like this. But if the 6-5 were where the ace-9 were, I guess you do. I mean, it's just so hard it's such a big bet against you're going to bet queens this size?
no.
I'm thinking too deeply about people who are not playing the way that I think they should play. So I can't
Yeah,
get,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, this is we're off in a
right. But
La
that
La
is the
Land.
purpose of Mondays, is to try to be in the heads of the people you play against, not against the solvers and not against the other people who study. And we're
Yeah.
looking at what they do.
Yeah, because he's like short stack, and then like he should be raising. Like I would raise to like three, like
Yeah.
four, like three, at least three or four
Yeah.
in the button against the limp. But he did only two, so I'm like, who is he, an alien? Is he like where did he
Right.
get $57 from?
There
Kind of thing.
Exactly. Fold, 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 raise, fold, fold, but he's not going to. Oh no, this guy could. He played the queen 7 wrong, but he played something else right. And the jack 4 suited against the cutoff
It's a fold.
is just barely in the big blind.
Well, now if the small blind calls, the jack 4 is a fold.
Yeah. No, I'm saying if the small blind folds, the jack 4 plays against the button, and against the cutoff, it folds, but just barely. The jack 6 plays against the cutoff. So
here I'm likely, if it was me,
well, we're done.
I'm likely to get my hand caught in a cookie jar if I was a small blind here.
Against a 4 big blind raise?
Nah.
Yeah.
But we see this player min raised with ace-8 suited, and now he's going 4 big blinds with pocket tens.
Yep. So he's playing the strength of his hand. We wouldn't have known that watching him, but we would have known that he's varying his bet sizes, and we should tag him we should be watching him closely to try to figure out what his varying bet sizes mean.
Yep.
But here's one of the things about this bet size that I believe is this bet size, I believe, is very often tens, jacks, ace, king, ace, queen. Hands that are good, but are difficult to play after the flop, who they don't want to play. Does that sound accurate to you guys?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
sounds right.
I would say that was 6 or 7 big blind raises. But
No, because look at his stack. He has half of the stack that you're supposed to be playing with, right? 100 big blinds, so he has 53. I think 4 big blinds is a pretty big hand.
Okay, that's a good point. Joey, what was the rest of your point?
So you're assuming an unstudied player is making a mental adjustment for SPR if he would normally raise at 7 or 8 with 100?
No, I'm saying I'm making that adjustment. I'm just thinking he's playing the strength of his hand.
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out what his error level is. And
Mm.
to some people, 4 big blinds is just a normal raising size. I
But we know
think
it isn't from him.
when it gets to 6 or 7, that's when I tend to think it's like pocket eights through jacks or ace king.
Mm. Yeah, and you're saying for like online mostly online.
No, live.
Right. But Joey,
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see it online sometimes, but it's mostly a live play that.
right.
Well, yeah, like they're gonna
Joey,
like
one
rate
thing.
like
Oh, sorry. Go on, Skate.
no, I was just saying like that yeah live. I think people are gonna like since there's supposed to be like more better players online, right?
Yes.
Live they're gonna make more mistakes, so yeah, they're probably gonna make more mistakes with their sizings. But yeah,
Yes. But Joey, here's the thing I would add. We know something, this specific player, that this is a lot. We've seen that this is not his standard open size. We've seen him do the weird raise to 2, and we've seen him open I can't remember whether he did 3.2.5 or 3.5, or 2.5 or 3, but it wasn't 4. So 4 is big for him.
I didn't see his other open.
Yeah. Yeah. He's opened before, and we didn't, it wasn't this.
See,
We didn't
I'm
go.
basing it on the 2 hands I saw.
Yeah.
And I was just saying to conclude from those 2 hands is not enough to cut his range down that
Right.
far yet.
And we never saw his 8. We didn't see what his hand was with a 2 big blind open, with a 2 big blind raise. But I believe he has opened before. I'd have to go back and make sure. But this is the first time I saw him do the 4, so I would call this a big bet for him and would use that logic.
well,
Sleep.
so then like what are we saying here? So we're saying that okay, so we can't assume that he's not a study player, he's not a good player, but we could say that he's playing with a short stack, so and he's varying his race size, right? Like, so what is he like? He's not supposed to. So, is he varying his race size 4 and 2 with good hands and bad hands? I mean, like, what? So, what are we
We
saying?
think, we think the first thing about his raise size is we think he's raising his better hands bigger and his worse hands smaller. We start with that. That's what we think. And then to
Right.
get more specific, I'm adding in the thing that I think that he's going to be raising larger with the hands that he considers hard to play post flop. That's the
Yeah.
leap I'm making. And those
I'm
are
with.
9s, 10s, jacks, sometimes queens, ace, king, and ace, queen offsuit. They're complicated to play. And so I think that's what he might be doing. Now, I'm also prejudiced because I saw the 10s, but I think I would have made that same speech without seeing the 10s.
Yeah, same. But now, what does Joy think, and why?
Joey thinks,
Just like I said, like yes, if a person, what we have witnessed, I think what Scotty's talking about, I'm sure this is what Scotty's talking about, is when players raise larger, there tends to be a category of hands that they are playing with. And like live, I would see somebody who would open like 2 or 3 normal and then go to 7. You expect to see something like a middle pair or ace king.
Mhm.
Something where they think they're ahead now and they deserve to win because they have the best hand right now. They don't really want to see any more cards. They want to try to fold everybody out. But they have
Right.
trouble playing post flop if they
Yeah.
have to see a flop with it.
Yep.
Right. That's the norm, and you, I guess, if you are playing in a pot with them, you could sort of gauge that whether they continuation bet the flop and the turn, and what is what's their sizing, right?
Oh,
According to the action. But yeah,
the way I play these people is if I know that's what they're doing, like I have enough information to say that's what he's doing, I will call with any 2 cards and immediately bet as soon as I see an ace.
Okay, so you overweight the pairs and underweight the ace king ace queen.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm not playing the way Joey's playing.
mm,
Sometimes I get a side call, but then the second and third bet usually gets them to give up their pair.
so if you're the pre-flop caller and they raise and like they're raising to 4, you call, you see an ace, and they check your betting, or they bet you're raising. You're saying because they don't
If
have
I'm out of position, I'll just dunk into them if I see an ace.
Right.
dunk.
So you're
Mm.
gonna
But
play
you
this
want to
jack
enter
four
the,
suited here.
you're leaving theory.
Yeah.
You want to enter into their minds. If they have pocket jacks and they see an ace, what do they think? Oh no, he has the ace.
Right.
I hate pocket jacks. That's what they think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what they would do. They would just bet out if they had the ace.
So
Play the hand the way I think they would have played the hand if they had the ace.
Right. So in this particular case, jack four is 2 cards and they're suited, so even better. So this would be enough for you to call here to do that exploit if you had made that conclusion about this guy. Is that right?
Yes,
Gotcha.
I would not have made it in this hand
Right.
because for my experience, 4 big blinds doesn't set off the alarm bells like that.
Right.
It's usually 6 or 7, and I would have to see something else to make me conclude that is
Gotcha.
what they're doing.
Gotcha. And I'm
not their first time they do that.
Yep. And I'm doing a different adjustment if I know myself correctly, which is I am folding to the larger bets, and the exploit that I'm looking for is the mistake you've made is you've stuck your neck out too far. So when I have my excellent hands, you now lose too much money that you shouldn't have lost. That's my adjustment. I don't know whether it's enough of an adjustment or if it's the right one. But I know that I am folding the jack four here, and I'm certainly not playing any 2 cards to make that exploit that you described.
Theoretically, that's a good adjustment.
Yeah.
The larger bets you just use.
Yeah.
You adjust according to NDF.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And when I say that's how I'm doing it, I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong and what I'm doing is right. I'm just reporting on what my actual response would be. All right.
Yeah, no,
we get to
yours
see
is the theoretical response. Mine is the exploitative response. Once I know what they're doing.
So I'm saying I would do that, even knowing what they're doing, that concluding what they're doing, I wouldn't go as far as you're going. I don't say that it's wrong to go as far as you're going. I'm saying I wouldn't do it. I don't have enough confidence to play that way yet. But this is going to be a fun hand. Fold, 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 raise, fold, 3-bet, mostly fold.
4-bet.
He's not going to fold bet me. But let's see. Let's see if indeed the jack 9 and the jack queen and the ace 5 fold. Ace 5 can raise. Ace 5 can raise in the cutoff right here. This is a high frequency raise. This is like 75%.
Yeah, but I think he'll limp.
Yeah, he'll limp, and then we'll ISO. Here we go. So here's his limp, which bring in a limp behind from the ace deuce, which brings in a limp behind from the king 4, which brings in a raise now to a larger size from my ace king.
But
I would have went, I think, one more higher.
Okay.
I'd go like a lot higher.
3.
I think I'd go 10.
Yeah.
No. Maybe like 10 or 9.
No, 7.
All right.
Fine.
I'd go a lot higher.
Why? Why a lot higher?
Because the players that I play against, most likely they play too many hands. They call too loose.
So you think that your exploit here is that you're going to bet larger because they're going to call you with too wide a range of hands against your ace king.
Exactly. They say, I have an ace. That's a good card.
Okay. So the hands you dominate don't fold to the 10 big blinds.
Nope.
Okay.
They don't fold to 14 big blinds here.
All right. So when you have aces, you can go to 14 here.
No, I can go to 17 probably.
Oh boy, that's fun.
Yeah, I strongly would disagree with that. And if we had the 3 hours, I would sit and argue with it. How it's wrong.
Right, but remember, Joey, his claim was not his claim was that he observed those people doing that. And you're going to argue against that he didn't see that, or that it's not the right way for you to
play against it? Even if I saw it, I wouldn't go that large.
Okay.
Right.
And you let's not do 3 hours on it, but let's do 90 seconds. If you know they're going to call you quite wide and you have aces, why wouldn't you go that large? Just so I understand the reasoning.
Because the larger you go, the smaller your range has to be to mathematically adjust to the amount you're risking versus the amount you can possibly win.
So you're saying,
and I don't want to tighten up that much where I can only raise aces and kings then.
Gotcha. So you're saying but remember, he's doing an even more exploitable and exploitive thing. He's not going to 14 and 17 all the time. He's going to go to 10 with ace king, and he's going to go to 17 with aces. And the only problem with that is that they know your hand. But if they're calling your 17, then it doesn't matter whether they know your hand.
I didn't hear him say it was specifically because
that isn't what I said.
He said 17 with any hand he's raising here is what
I
understand.
No. I was saying I put in the aces thing. So why don't you say what you're saying rather than me say what you're saying? That seems like a better idea.
I say, like, I bet large, not necessarily 17, but I bet larger because the most frequent error that in the demographics that I play against is that they play too many hands. They call too much. They play too passively.
Right. Gotcha. And that's not any different than the demographic we are playing with.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how the group that you play against, but the people call too much with aces.
With a single ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's not just your game. And look, 6 did exactly what you wanted it to do.
Yep.
It gets you heads up.
Heads up against a hand I dominate.
So if you can get your result with 6, why go 14 if you're getting the result you want?
Because
you don't need to.
Extra big blinds.
But
he
said because they make a bigger mistake. Their mistake is bigger when they call my bigger bet when they're dominated. And you would, if you have to remove some of your bluffs, like your ace-5 suited bluffs, because they're not getting folds. So in a world where people call extremely large bets too wide, you should be bluffing less and just go with a linear 3-bet strategy and better hand them.
When I played at Seneca, the standard bet size to open for a 1-2 game was 17. So,
I would still do 5.
If people call 17 pre-flop, I never made a bet below 17.
Okay.
So,
okay, let me ask you this question, and don't be insulted, but this is the way I perceive that. You're playing with a bunch of weak players.
No kidding. No kidding.
A bunch of fish.
Right.
No kidding.
Are you going to copy the fish?
I think the idea is I make a horrible play. I play horrible because it makes the most money.
That does not make sense.
Okay, like you could say against a bunch of GTO players, there's never a case where your opening bet size is 17 in a 1-2 game. But I'm not playing against a bunch of GTO players. I'm playing against a bunch of grade A tuna.
Right. So what Derek's claim, because I like speaking for Derek. What Derek's claim is not that they raised to 17, therefore I'm emulating them. He's saying that he thinks the best exploit against their mistakes includes these oversized raises.
And
And you don't agree, and that
No,
makes sense.
mathematically, I
Yeah.
can show you how that's wrong.
Yeah.
And I hate Alex Fitzgerald. Don't bring him up when I'm talking. I don't
Okay,
hate him.
I'd love
I
to
don't
hear
hate him
why
to
I'm
death.
wrong.
No, there's a mathematical reason. Your sizing is is affected. The math of your sizing affects your range.
Yes.
And nobody knows how to adjust their range. They just decide I'm going to raise 17.
Well,
If you're
here's my
if you're
thoughts.
if you're raising that large, then do you know how to adjust your range on the fly to make the mathematical problem in your favor as opposed to against you, where you're raising hands that are too weak to withstand that sort of a raise, where you're likely to run into another hand often enough to make your hand lose money because you're opening it too large?
Okay, well, my thoughts were that if they're taking $5 out for a rake, then and they take another buck out if the pot hits 40. So if you bet 17, the pot's 34 plus the antes, then it's just under 40. So, like if the rake is $5 and you go to 6, then you can't make the game is unbeatable.
Well, then you shouldn't be playing in that casino if they're taking out $6 on the flop automatically. You should find another casino or another way to play.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
So you're saying if I'm playing 1-2 and I raise to 6 and the big blind calls me, they're taking half of the pot away?
They're taking $5 out. So there's no way. There's like basically the game is unbeatable if you bet 6. So you can't bet 6. That's just off the table totally.
Then you shouldn't play there. Just don't play there.
I made $5,000 a year there, so
good enough. Let's move on. I think both points have been made.
Yep.
So here we go.
And I agree with his points.
Yeah.
Shouldn't play there.
Yeah. And dominated has become the dominating. I think that this is a flop I can bet because most of these cards have folded by now in this action. But we'll see. Yep, I do the bet. He's going to call, and I'm going to slow down and give up now. I have to give up. Nope, I decide not to give up.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And you got him to fold. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
But on the paired
my
board,
hand looks so. Oh, so
Ace
go on.
King is marginal made on the paired board.
It really is. But my hand does appear to him like an overpair. And so I don't think I played that correctly. I'm happy about the result.
Sometimes naked aggression wins the day.
That's what it did that time. So there's some red line. You wanted some red line?
Here's our red line action.
There's your red line action. And there's your red line action that if it didn't work, it also explains my blue line. So there's your answer for that. That does not seem correct. Fold, 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 all the way to the ace-5.
God, they actually did what they were supposed to.
Fold, raise, fold, 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 fold. That's what should happen. But instead he calls. This call is bring it. The 10-jack is calling.
I'm going to ISO with ace-10 there.
That'd be nice. Let's, the 10 jack though, I believe he's definitely calling here. Yep. The king 7, I think, is gonna fold.
3, 4,
The ace
5.
10 should, the ace 10 is in, is.
He
should
should
be
have.
out.
He should have went to like 5.5.
Yeah, he's in a
That's a
good
bad
ISO
fold.
position. Yep. But nobody else can ISO. I can't
What
ISO.
about ace 9 off? Are you guys ISO with ace 9 off here?
No, no,
That's real
I'm calling
cuspy,
ace
isn't it?
9.
That's pretty cuspy.
So I can get behind the ace 10 kind of semi bluff ISO here.
I
But
would,
yeah, ace 9 off becomes super cuspy.
I would like to do the ace 9 off against villain 1 when it's just villain 1's limp.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you don't really like ace 9 is cuspy if it's folded to you in the cutoff.
no, ace 9 is just raised when it's folded to you in the cutoff.
Yeah, but isn't that the bottom of our range?
Well, ace 9 and
It's
ace
the
5.
bottom line.
Ace 9 and ace 5, yeah. But it's a pure raise.
Cut
And so
off ace
I'm willing
8.
to take, I'm willing to take my full raising range against villain 1.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, ace 8 is in there.
So tight fold from. Should we see how the fish play?
He fold, but nobody else can ISO.
Okay, now we've got a multi-way pipe.
10-8
Hot
is
of
probably
nightmare.
going to convince himself to call.
10-8. 10-8
I
is
don't know if he has any other choice.
10-8 is in the big blind. He doesn't have to call.
Oh, it's limped. That's right.
This is the craziness is there.
Some people will play any 2 cards in the small blind if it's not raised.
Yep. There you go.
Nice.
And this is the classic version of why this is bad.
Congratulations, villain 8.
What?
You will be rewarded for your poor play.
And villain 3 would have picked up a big pot here.
Yep. And that's how he's chosen to play it. But for 1.
So,
Villain 8's got an easy play here. Just call.
what is he up to?
I
There's-
think the thinking is this, that if you don't get raised, then they're calling you with a weak ace or a queen, not a good ace, and therefore you can bet them off it. If he's thinking that far.
Yeah,
The other
maybe.
thinking is
I
nobody
I
raised.
think he's thinking I'm going to bet.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I'll push this button.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet. I think what he's thinking is I'm gonna bet.
I think you have a point there. I think that this might be a play where he's feeling where he's at,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's going. Let's see if he finds the place to put on aggression.
Right.
With his absolute garbage.
Right. Now this 10 jack with 3 outs to the nuts and maybe 4 for 1 big blind,
I fold.
I would consider calling there and wasting
mean,
1 big blind.
Do we care about pot odds and equity still, or is that not a concern anymore?
No, it is something here. There's for 1 big blind, there's enough money behind.
You're drawing the well, it's a
He's
two-tone
got
board, but
3
you are
car-
drawing
he's
the
got
nuts.
3 clean
Tough
outs.
one.
Yeah,
He's got 3 clean outs and he's got 14% pot odds and 21% equity. Kind of interesting spot.
Well,
Yeah.
that equity's all the way to the river. When
Right,
there's
but
more
cut it in
money
half.
left
Yeah.
behind, you can't go.
Yeah, Joey, but we
river.
can't. So you're making an assumption that aggression will continue. We're not necessarily. We can't assume when we call in position on flop that we're going to face additional aggression on turn. That's
But
an
also-
assumption that we can't necessarily make with every pot odds decision that we choose on flop.
But also,
But I
our
also
equity
come
here
from
is
a
11%,
generation-
10%.
I come from a generation before they did the 4 and 2 rule, where they taught you you have to separate the turn from the river when you're facing. Your direct pot odds here are about 7%.
Or or another way to say it is your equity is like 10%. Both work. You have to divide one of those numbers in half. I think it is more accurate to divide your equity in half because it's your equity to the turn. This 21% is equity to the
And
river.
plus, we're only getting the 21%
So
as
so my main takeaway is that when I look at a solver, there's a very strong correlation between our calling threshold, what solver is assuming its equity is, and the pot odds that are being offered. And you can see that over and over again. When you look at a solver, there's extremely strong correlation between pot odds and solver's assumed equity for that combo in that particular position, especially on that particular street, especially when playing in position.
but I don't think a solver assumes 21% equity here.
Well,
We only see that as a result of the hand replayer having full information
right.
of what everybody has and not their whole range.
Yeah, and we have twice as much equity as what we'd have pot odds.
Right. So I would look at it this way. Not against their hands, which is where the 21% to the river comes from, but against their ranges, we have 3 cleanouts to the nuts. So that's 6% to hit it on the flop. I mean, hit it on the turn. And the 4th out is most of the time going to be good in this configuration. So I think it's worth calling 1 big blind here. But that, I think we're getting the right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can argue for a fold for out of position, and we don't fully realize equity, but in position, I think it changes.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad fold, but I think you can call there. Of course, then that happens, and now your decision is very hard when.
Yeah, true.
Except now your decision is very easy. You lose another big blind.
Yeah, and that the 2-8 was just smashing buttons on the flop.
Yeah, that was. So let's see how much he continues to do such a thing. Fold. Ace 8 is a fold here, and I think he's going to fold. Fold. The Jack 7's going to play, and I think he's going to limp then. And the Ace Jack should raise his limp.
Based on what we saw last hand. Oh wait, that was the Jack 7 player who.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's going to limp here. Nope, he raises. Okay, so we got that. And the Ace Jack should not fold. And against the button,
I'd 3-bet it.
Ace Jack has got a lot of 3-betting. It's not a pure 3-bet, but it's got a lot of it.
I think Ace Jack might be one of those hands that actually calls a lot in
Yeah,
the solver.
I'm gonna say it's 25% raise, 75% call. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's find out. Button, fold, button raise, big blind, Ace Jack, 17.5, close enough. Okay. And he calls, perfectly fine. And I think the Jack 7 may win this with naked aggression. Nope.
Interesting.
Okay, he may win it with naked stubbornness. Nope.
So there's a timing tell here, right? So, villain 7 are fish. Let's look at his sizing on flop.
Oh, he just calls on flop.
So on flop, our
Villain 7.
Villain 7, our donker hit 3.
Mhm.
Okay. And now notice he doesn't increase his percentage of bet. There's no polarization in his
Right.
donk action. And my question to you, gents, is there a sizing tell here?
Yes, but you need more information to. I would start looking at him to figure it out, but you can't make conclusions off of one hand.
Okay, we also have the ability to
You have
I
to
mean,
be
so
sure.
assumptions are certainly dangerous, but I think there's also a time when we begin to look at population tendencies and
So,
understand how population plays this, especially on a site like Ignition,
yeah.
where we're not going to have the ability to take notes.
So I think the population conclusion from this, and it matches this hand. So again, I'm being influenced, is the lack of raise tells you he doesn't like the king.
Yes,
Tell you
and
why. Doesn't tell you that he had started with pocket sevens or ace six, but he doesn't like the king.
yeah, I agree. So if we, irregardless of hands, I mean, obviously, Button's hand is got nothing, but I think it's important to understand if population, when we're seeing donks, right? So someone donks, they're declaring we've got value. And then when they choose to not polarize on turn and instead take another small size, disregarding traps, I wonder if there's something we can draw from that and hence something that we can exploit.
So you said a very important thing there, which is once you can disregard traps, yes.
Yeah, there's always traps. I mean, that's part of the
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's a commonly trapped pattern.
And I was
Agreed.
kind of just saying add a little bit of caution because there is a large enough portion of the population that do this with a range of hands that should be polarized themselves too. There's just some players that their knowledge is, they kind of think limit poker still. They'll bet two, then two, then two, then two. Um,
And
I've
I
just seen it
found
more live. I don't remember. I don't remember how much times I've seen this online because I don't pay as much close attention online because I'm playing 3, 4 tables and depending on the HUD.
yeah.
But I do see it live where people will bet small, small, small.
Yeah. And what I believe we've seen from our hands face up thing is those are invariably weak. They may not be this weak, ace high,
Yeah.
but those are
Yeah.
hands they are willing to that those are hands that your exploit can be get them off whatever
Or
they
I'm wondering if this is the type of player that will bet two, then three, and then shove
there is
if we
that.
just call his bets.
That's
Yep.
pretty rare. I'm sure it happens, but
That was the Brazilian.
oh, the old Brazil. Yeah, well,
Brazilian pattern.
that's kind of a difference. Yeah. So this is yeah, I'm just wondering if we can surmise some sizing tells which imply a cap range, which allows us to exploit a cap range.
I think so.
Maybe we
Let's
can think about that going further. I mean, we don't really see this level of fish very
yeah.
often, but
Yeah, this is a very fishy table. Let's make that our working hypothesis and see how it goes going forward.
okay.
Fold, 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 post. The poster should raise, which should get folds to the
Luck
queen.
box poster.
What?
Said it's a luck box poster.
Yeah. And the queen 10 against the low jack should fold.
Yeah, I would fold that.
Yeah. There's his raise, and his raise is oversized, which makes the queen 10 an instant fold. That's easy. That's not good.
That's our fish that we were looking at too, isn't it?
The last fit, yeah, that's
The
that's
2-8
Jack
in the
seven
small
fish.
blind.
Yeah, that's him. 2-8 in the small blind, and and we haven't seen his hand yet, by the way, at the table. We've just seen this. This is the main lesson though, and we're gonna go look. This is worse than just calling that raise.
Yeah,
With
this hand.
player in there.
People, I think recreational will overvalue queen 10.
Overvalue
a lot.
queen 10 and overvalue. I only have to put in. I'm getting a discount.
Yeah, they overvalue queen 10 off and queen jacks off a lot.
Well,
Yep.
I don't know.
You
Queen
think
10
this?
would be in there versus a.
It's not multi-way. It's not a call
ver-
multi-way.
versus a 2.5. Would Queen 10 be in there?
No,
In
this is a
multi-way.
fold.
We'll put the king 4 on the button just to get it there. This is a low jack raise.
This is a reverse implied issue.
Yeah, I think even at this size that this is going to be a low jack raise, button call, big blind,
Oh, okay.
fold, and that's at 2.5. But have the button fold and the big blind, does Queen 10 doesn't make it in there, but you can see that it's more calling there, right? Look at your ace 10, king jack, and queen jack. Now let's look at it here. And they are gone. See how much tighter this range got?
Yeah, I know they got tighter. I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure what Queen Jack, Queen 10 did.
Yeah. Yep, there we go. Okay. So so mistakes all around. And I am up 18 big blinds. Wow. And most of that was from a mistake. From the ace king mistake.
All right, so ace 10 should check. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, we're going to look at, we're going to
Yeah,
look at,
this should probably check around.
yep, we're going to look at this in our three-way solver. It won't have these ranges, but we're going to look at it because we can. Check,
You
check, check.
just remember the board, right?
Right. Now the queen 10 can bet.
How much? I'm thinking about 4.
I think so. I don't think he has to bet 8. Yep. Great. All right.
I think DTO has this set.
I think we're going to see it. Okay. So this was
Well, we gotta
low
go
jack
back.
raised.
No, you're in pre-flop. You want to get in
Okay.
post-flop.
Thank you. And we get there by,
Explore.
okay, here we go. Explore
No,
again.
down the bottom.
Oh, no, that's a different Explorer. You think it's this one. It's not. This is the one that tells you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have not figured out how to reset this other than doing this. But I
There
don't
should
think we
be
need
a
to.
different way.
I know. Of course there should be.
Low jack versus button versus big blind.
That's us. Low jack button, big blind.
And
Select
what was our
scenario.
flop?
9
Now we
9
got like 6 9
9
9
6 range.
rainbow.
9 9 6.
We have like an 8
Right.
8 maybe.
First of all, click paired boards first.
Okay.
That's good.
Paired. And they are rainbow. So let's see if we have any. What's our room? 9 8 8. So let's just do it. Let's do it suited so we can get the exact 9 9 6. I mean 8 8 6 is in here, but let's do that. 9 9 6. There we go. Okay. So our low jet. So
now we can click on
right.
big blind
So now
checks.
what they need to do? Big blind. I bet he's checking range. What is the initial raiser doing? Oh, whoops. We have to hit the fold.
Oh, you gotta hit check. You're in the so
Check.
yeah, right there.
Now we bet. Now here's the range. He's got some bets.
That's some bets.
Right, but look at how outrageously he's checking.
So so
Yeah.
globally he's betting 15%.
Right.
And to be honest, any hand he checks, it would not be a mistake.
Yeah, if you simplified this to checking range, you wouldn't be that far off.
And he is betting B33. So I think they give one size here in these
Yep.
solves, and it's B33. All right.
How are
So
you- Look at his 9 9. He bets it. Not all in. Here we go.
yeah, so he's not gonna slow. Yeah, so he mixes everything. So what's he do with his over? So is there a linear regression in betting frequency depending on the overpair? So does ace check the most? Check 87%. And what about like jacks or tens?
Where are you getting the number? Okay, let's see. Is it doing the number? Yeah, it's doing the hand. Good.
Yeah.
So
So
87,
check,
85, 82. It's linear, not
Yeah,
reverse.
it pretty much
It's
is.
reverse linear in its betting.
Okay.
And then it makes a change here at the tens. So 13% bets, up to 14, 18, up to 22. Now it's
So that's what we expect to see, right?
oh, it's
in
completely
Yeah.
all the way up to yeah, and then nines, of course, and then eights is under the 9. So it's completely reverse linear. And that makes sense. We understand why.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
And even 7-7s are betting a little bit. Are they betting more than the 8s?
Let's see. Oh, we got to get out of that. We got to get out of this mode. There we go.
Oh, it looks like they're betting a little less.
73.7. Yeah. Yep. 26, 20, 30. The sixes jump up. Oh, the sixes is a full house.
Well, 6 is a full house.
Six is a full house. Yeah. Yep.
So, and he's betting with mixed frequency with his 9 pairs, it looks like.
Yeah.
But mostly checking. I mean, yeah. So as
does a lot of
Joey
checking.
said, checking your entire range is fine here.
It's fine.
There's no
Right.
component that's a pure bet.
So we give him the check, which his actual hand was, was king 4.
Ace 10 suited.
Was air.
No, he's the low jack. Oh, you're right. That's where we are. And we did button. Yep. Ace 10 suited, which we're pretty confident is going to be the check.
Now we've seen in the last hand, we saw a pretty high
Oh, look
frequency
at
of betting.
Look at those ace 10s.
No, suited. Go to suited.
Oh, sorry. You got to have the heart draw. And without it, you got to have
You need the ace of hearts.
ace of hearts. Yeah, if you got the ace of hearts, you can bet. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There. So he checks. And now the button gets to do a
So
lot.
yeah, so we see this over and over again. Backseat gets a pretty high betting frequency.
Right.
What
That's
do you
But
think?
it's highly dependent on the flop and their range.
Point taken. So he's betting half the time here.
You need it now? Or can I wait?
Huh?
Second now. Okay, good. All right, hold on, you guys. I'll be back in a second. I have to move something
Okay, no
Okay.
worries.
so I can stay married. I'm gonna turn off the share so you guys can share something if you want.
Do you want to randomize that?
Like Larry, I think like if we make that like a king high flop and the other 2 players check, I don't think the button's betting.
Yeah, you have a good point. Yeah, we should definitely think about flop textures more. Flop
Well-
textures more.
From all of the ones I've seen, whenever it goes check and it gets to in position player, they do have at least 50% betting.
Interesting.
Now I'm thinking about an adjustment here, which is this. I think that I'm gonna jump to a conclusion that we haven't seen enough of these to get to, but we've seen them in tournaments. So, and that is the 2 out of position players, regardless of who was the pre-flop raiser, do a lot of checking in these multi-way pots. And the person in position gets to do a lot of betting. And because that person gets to do a lot of betting, you get to do a lot of check raising when you have it.
Somebody just said something about, I forget if it was Skate or Mike, about king high boards that he doesn't think the button would bet as often. Can we check that?
Yeah, we'll check that. But my point is that it is possible that the reason that it is GTO to do so much checking in the first 2 positions includes because it is GTO to do so much betting in the back door. And if they're not doing so much betting in the back door, maybe betting out is not as bad as GTO makes it. Maybe that's not as bad an adjustment as you might think at first. Now,
Well, it also depends on the range. Because here we can clearly see that the button has a hand that's not in range. How
Yeah.
does that affect it when their range is much wider than it should be?
well, first it makes all the solves are wrong because the solves assume a range. So
Yeah, first rule, all solves are wrong.
yeah, the solves are wrong, but that doesn't mean you can't get it, that you don't get value from them. That there isn't valuable information.
I mean, there's an argument to be made, not to be a negative Nelly, but there's an argument to be made that the hijack frequency that we see in GTA Wizard is incorrect, considering how flattening ranges are wider, probably in game than what we see.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I've decided
Scotty.
to use the term negative Nelly a couple times
Okay.
today.
Now you want to change the two.
No, don't
flop?
change that yet. I
Okay.
want to try something.
Yep.
See where it has 100 big blinds SRP?
Yeah. See if
Click
that's got a
that.
replay.
That
Oh, good. Yeah. Let's see if that lets us. Yeah, we can come back to it here. There you go.
Well played,
Now,
well played.
unclick the text, the plops
Right.
that you have.
Unclick paired.
Well, no, click all.
Yep. There we go.
Click all.
Got it. Now you
And
wanted to
then
see king high,
somebody wanted to see like a king high.
king jack deuce. Happy with that?
Yeah.
King jack deuce.
I think his premise was, I forget who said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did.
Was
So
that it's a better hand for the raiser who checked.
But again, we see this, that the big blind is checking range. We see that. Now here's our initial raiser. Oh, look at that.
He's betting a
There's the
lot.
bets.
This is a great board for him.
Oh, this is a monster.
This is low jack is now better.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That changes.
So
This
that
is really
proves
good.
what Mike said.
So this is
So
one
my-
of the
yeah, my
exceptions.
premise.
This is one of the exceptions to checking almost everything in range.
Right.
Mike,
That's
what was your premise? Your premise is
my premise was that now if this person here checks, the button on that 996 flop or 966, whatever it was, would not bet nearly as much as we saw in that flop
right.
configuration.
yeah,
Right.
good point.
Now we're going to do it because this guy bets out all the time. But let's see. He checks on the button.
It's still 50%.
Right. But the
Still
other
a
one,
lot, yeah.
the other one was, how big was the other percent? It was big, right? Like,
No, it was around 50%.
oh, what? It was only 50? Okay.
Can we see what his check raise frequency now becomes if he gets a fold from the big blind? So if this guy bets, right?
That's what we're going to do. Here's our bet. Now we fold.
Fold. Oh, wait. Oh. We should have looked at his range before we folded him.
But his check raises are, these are his check raises.
So he's got 12% check raise. Okay.
Including hands as bad as 9-10 suited. Let's see. I assume that this 9-10 suited has a flush draw to go with it. No, either one.
Now it has clubs.
Front
Well,
door,
the front door or the back door.
either one is enough.
No. Yeah, front or back door.
Yeah.
I saw
And
some hearts in there too.
There's even, yeah, there are slivers with hearts and spades, but those are slivers.
But it's calling all its 9-10s, right? I mean, so the
Yeah,
the
it's not
gut shot
folding
is good
any.
enough.
Not
The
fold.
gut shot is good enough to call.
Yeah, once the I guess once the other player's out and you're closing the action.
Interesting. You've got
are
a lot
you
to
able
learn.
go back 2 steps?
Yep, we'll just do it this way. And we'll choose the same board. You wanted the king jack,
I think we picked King Jack too.
you want this board again.
Check, check.
Yeah.
Bet. And
Now
then
you
look,
want
I want to
this
see a big blind, what the big blind does. They have almost no raises.
Yep.
Which is what I was always assuming because they're still in the sandwich.
Yeah. They have a freak on king 5, but it's just, you could just ignore that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just ignore it. It's one combo
That
of one.
might be noise.
It's less than one combo of one hand.
All right, so
yeah.
have the big blind call now.
Okay. And now see what this guy does. Now the low jack. He
He's
check
raising
raises
more now.
He check raises more. And he calls less.
Interesting.
You go back. Can we go backwards?
Oh, what's he doing with his 10-9s?
I'm seeing if you can go backwards.
Hit the back button of your browser, maybe?
That's what I
Does
just
that take
did.
you back one step?
I just did. We're gonna see if that does it.
Click on the low jack real quick.
Okay.
What's he do his 10-9s now? He's folding some. Now he's only playing the back doors and front doors and folding the other two.
Yeah, and their check raises into 2 players. That is some aggression. Jack 9. Look at that Jack 9. Second pair.
We're gonna do drills tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Now that once we figure out
This?
how to hit the drill, but this I'm hating this this tool much less now. Much less.
For the money you paid, I still think they should offer more than 2 configurations.
Yeah.
Because the MTT has a lot more than just those 2
Yeah.
configurations.
I think we're only gonna have this for a month. We'll see. But this is the wild hand to me,
Yeah.
is that you would check raise into 2 players what is so clearly a marginal made hand. With no
You have a marginal hand, but
is
is
it
your
marginal?
range uncapped?
Is it marginal made after a bet and a call in a multi-way pot?
No, it's less. And he's check raising it. I would think that this is a Joey fold argument here.
It looks, I would typically fold that, but it looks like what the Sabra is doing is turning it into a bluff.
They are. Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
likes
I mean, so you're the only one with an uncapped range. Well, maybe not. Maybe, yeah. In many ways, you're the only one with.
Yeah.
You're the only one with tough set. You're the only one with jacks.
No, I think jacks might be in the other ranges a little bit.
Can we agree that we're the only one with king? Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough for me.
Okay.
And we're the only one with aces.
Right. Fold, 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 fold. King 9 off, fold there. Yep, definite fold. Pure raise, ace 10 here. Raise ace 10 pure.
Oh.
Some calls there. You can also fold this. Fold, and the ace jack suited is not going to fold in any configuration, except if the
No.
4-3 bet.
So I
No.
would argue the 4-4 should fold with his broken stack.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Now
But
let's see
he's
what
not
actually
going.
is going to happen. So that's what we
I
think
would
should
argue
happen.
he shouldn't be there with a broken stack. But
Right. So given this,
if we are ever
the king 9 is going to call. King 9's limping.
Oh yeah, that's her loose fish.
Right. However, I didn't see that coming.
We haven't seen him be out of line like that too much, have we?
Weird, yeah. And now he wasn't loose passive though. This was the guy who did the bet outs, and so
Yeah. No,
I
I that's why I went loose pass. I kind of stuttered and just went
Yeah.
to loose.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been passive. He's been kind of all over the place in his.
Yeah. I think ace 10 should fold here. I expect 4-4 will call, and I think he should fold. He's not closing the action. And he's paying 3 big blinds that he may not get to see it, but he does. Easy fold. I don't think this ace jack should fold at all.
This is a really tough one. I mean, there are going to be traps here in villain 4's early position.
Yeah.
There should be. I've been limp traps have become quite fashionable recently on global. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Should he
Ace
squeeze?
jack suited here?
Should he squeeze the ace jack suited?
Yeah, I think that you're getting close to what should be a good squeezing range. I think there's a squeeze bluff here for sure.
Yep. And this seems pretty fine too. We'll go look. We will look at it. We will look at this because this range is checkable, but except for this stupid limp that just messes up. So we'll just look at it without. And then
those broken stacks always mess with my squeezing. Like
yeah. Everything is weird.
You know a good way to check this. We see the hands and that the king 9 should not be in there, but we don't know that. I would always just check it like moving him back 2 spots.
Oh,
So
just
that-
say that, just let him raise from here.
have the button call, and then with his ace jack suited.
All right, that's good. But we'll look at that. And we'll just look at that in GTO Wizard because it's fast. Now having gotten here, we don't have four-way solves, but the theory of it should say that this guy should be checking range. This first guy checks range, second guy checks range, and now
This
checking on
doesn't
the
like
board.
we had that king jack board where he had bets.
Yeah, but this
This
is not
doesn't
one of
look
those
like a
boards.
board that favors him, so it's probably check.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a check range board. We'll look at that. We'll look at that for the board, not in this configuration, but yeah. And then with
The
that,
button range should have 50% bets, but I think this should be a check.
yeah, I would not hate him betting. The only way the only way to win this hand is if he bets now. If another card comes off, he can't win, and he can win now, but he doesn't want to win. This should check around. I guess the Jack 6 could bet.
No, the king 9 can bet, I think. After it goes check check.
Yeah. Well, how about that instead?
Yeah, that's just pushing buttons.
Yep. The king 9's going to call with his king of hearts, I would assume. Yep.
Yeah.
And get there. That's always nice. And he bets and just gets a fold. There we go. All right. Let's see. The interesting things we want to see about this hand is we want to see
Squeezing the ace jack.
yeah,
What ace jack does.
what ace jack does, and it's going to be low jack because we don't have nine-handed, so we can't move him back
Okay.
2 spots, but we can move him back 1. And that is going to be right here.
Well, you don't have 9-handed in GTO?
We don't have 9. Oh, we can do it. We can do it in here. In the wizard we do. Let's
No,
do
we were looking at pre-flop.
yeah, we can look in the wizard. We do.
By the
So
way, just so you guys know, Skate said he fell asleep earlier in the session.
good for him.
Well,
Scotty,
also,
I think we need to introduce a juggling intermission.
Oh, sure. I still haven't shown you guys any
I think we should have some juggling on occasion just to keep things
well,
spicy.
at some point.
it's not entirely my fault. Did somebody call me earlier? Because like I still haven't fixed my laptop, so yeah, it makes a difference when I'm on my phone in bed, relaxing, or on my desk actually studying.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you a little bit, Skate,
Yep,
Anything
I
else?
hate doing that.
because I know you're a good sport.
I know.
Okay, here we go. All right. So here we are. We wanted to see this is our range in the
No.
big blind
Yeah, there we go.
against under the gun and cutoff. And so the ace jack suited
Ace jack mostly calls.
mostly calls, but here's the squeezes for value, and here's the bluff squeezes from the aces. So the ace jack is fine.
Well, what I was thinking is, I know without the intervening caller, ace jack suited and ace 10 suited are oftentimes calls. Like there's raises from above it.
Yeah.
And raises below it, but like that gap in the middle is mostly
Mhm.
calling.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if that changed with the intervening caller. If
Yep,
ace
and
jack
and
suited would 3-bet.
And it does. Look at this against the low jack -1. This nice, all of these hands do it. Now put in 1 call and look at how that changes. Massive.
And what about having that initial limper now yet to act behind you? Does that make it an argument for 3-betting or squeezing more or calling more?
Squeezing less, I would think.
So
Yeah,
calling
that's a
more.
good question. I mean, so
No, let's think.
so
Give
I mean,
one dead
he's going to have
squeezing-
traps, but
I think
ostensibly
squeezing-
the great majority of the time he's going to have a capped range, which is going to have to fall to significant aggression. But there is the argument to be made that fish want to see a flop, which is why it's slipping in the first place.
Yeah, but your raise is going to be to the correct sizing. Your raise is gonna make him fold all that stuff.
You would hope.
Well, I mean, that is one thing I have noticed, and I'm playing. These are the exact fishy players I play against. is that my 3-bet squeezes get through, not all the time, but they get through enough that these guys who they don't call the sizing that the standard sizing with these Jack 6 suited with that stuff that they've got. But you were saying, does it make you more likely or less likely to squeeze? And I would think that the existence of his tricky limping range, if he has one at all, would make you less likely.
Well, I assume most people, when people start limping and you don't see a back raise at all after how many orbits we've been through, I would assume he doesn't have a tricky range.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody do a back raise in this session.
Most limpers are honest limpers. So until they show me otherwise, I tend to go with that assumption until they show me they can be a tricky limper.
8-3 deuce we want to see.
So I think I would three bet squeeze more with the limper until I know he can have tricky limps.
I'm with you. And then those broken stacks, would you 3-bet? I would 3-bet less now that those 2 stacks in front of us are like 50 to 40 big blinds. Is that correct?
No, I think more.
So you want to 3-bet them more?
Because with 100,
risking less.
We saw that with 100 big blinds, ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, and ace 9 suited like to call because they have the flush value too with the deeper stacks. With the broken stacks, they have less of a implied flush value. So I would think they would start playing more like an offsuited ace jack, which would be 3-betting.
So on this board, we get the same situation we saw. First position, big blind checks range. Now the low jack on this board has to check range. So the low jack's action is very board dependent.
Yeah, if it's so far the only exception we saw is when the board was really good. Oh, the board had a king.
Had a king and a jack.
Well, I think if we look at any king high board, my premise, and we can verify this maybe tomorrow, or if you want to look today, is any king high board or any ace king board. Will have the hijack, low jack will have some betting.
Yep, there's his check. Here's a king low board. And there's some bet, 31% betting. It was 50% the other time, right?
Yeah, it was actually, I think it might have been close to 75 on the king jack.
Right. So now, we may look at an ag report for that. But yep. So this is highly board dependent.
Yeah, we did a study with sixes a couple weeks before he stopped. He showed us he did a multi-way thing, and the middle player, when the button was the caller, had bets on king high boards and ace king X boards.
Gotcha.
And don't go anywhere yet, Scotty.
Yeah.
Have him check, and now let's check the button's betting frequency on this king high board.
You got it.
See if it stays high.
It's still
49%. 46%.
Still close to 50.
Yeah, it's close to 50 still, but it's gone down a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
All right, good.
The other good thing for me to see, well, I mean, I don't know if they solved it for different sizes, but it's using a B33. It's not going to like a B25.
Yeah, it's the only option it gives you. Seen this hand? The king 10 calls, right? Okay, great. And we're gonna go to one hero hand and be done. And then I will see you guys tomorrow.
Skate, wake up, we're on our last hands.
Play a little quick, right? So
I'm awake.
So
Okay.
Limper's going to limp. Ace 10 should ISO, but we expect to see just the limp, giving the 6-9 the chance to realize some equity he never should have.
Look,
Free look.
and they all hate that.
Yep, everybody hates it. Should go check, check, check. And now the 8-6 should bet this, I think, when it, oh no, this guy just decides. He's decided in both cases that when nobody
He's
bet.
the one that should have checked because he has showdown value now.
Yeah. And now let's see how he's going to lose it. Yep, there we go. And does he follow through? Nope. And does this guy follow through correctly? Yep. There we go. Folds around. Oh, ace 10. So this guy's being very aggressive here. Here we go. There's your call. All right, now we should get a big ISO. Nope. Because ace king is a drawing hand in his mind.
Draw.
Bet.
Yep. Nope. And lets the 10 win. There's our raise. And this should just get folds around. Ace 9 should fold. Queen 10 suited should raise. And it should fold around to Jack 4 suited, who should fold. And he is a short stacker. But we'll see. The ace 9.
Let's see the size.
Yeah. Limps.
He limps.
Limps. And one of the things also with limpers is that I think we should be 3-betting limpers when they raise less often, because the bottom of their range isn't there. Their folding range would have been limped. I think that's an adjustment to make. That the GTO 3-betting strategy should not be used against limpers.
What you talk about, Willis?
I not the ISO strategy. When the limper raises,
I still 3-bet him.
good for you. That is my
Gotta remember the strategy in 3-betting. It's not to get them to fold now. They miss their flop 70% of the time.
And then they don't proceed properly after that.
Right.
This queen jack here against these limpers, this is going to, given how we've seen, I think I can squeeze this. I think there's a reasonable squeeze.
I think I would still fold, but
yep,
I'm not opposed to queen jack.
Yep.
Getting aggressive.
Yep, here we go. And I'm going to continue my aggression. What the hell? What is that size?
Left side over pair.
I don't know what that what happened there. That is wrong.
You're not really that far off, I don't think.
I think it should be 4.
3 or 4. I mean, so you're off by like 1.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be bad.
But now you have to continue.
And now I do, and now it's too late. So this is the last hand we get to see, is me playing like this.
It can't end like this, guy.
Triple. Put him in.
It's going to end like this. Yep, there we go. And that's how it ends.
He has to call, though.
Oh, of course he's going to call.
Oh!
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved red line. Are you happy now?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? All right, guys.
I like the triple.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
It was just unfortunate that he had a hand we thought he was going to call.
Oh, I don't know.
But if he's see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, these players that are unstudied, you could still 3-bet them and make them fold post flop.
Oh,
yeah,
so
point taken.
Such a happy result.
Be still my beating heart.
Exactly. All right, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the session, Scotty.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed this. Take care. Bye-bye.